This presentation is about environmental challenges in Fremont, Nebraska, and the insertion of the insertion plan of a wildlife reserve. So the overview of it is basically I'll go in initially talking about challenges, then I'll transition into the pollution that I feel is in Fremont, Nebraska. Then I'll go into a plan of action on how to insert um, a wildlife reserve for Fremont, Nebraska. Some challenges that I feel are faced in terms of bringing in a wildlife reserve would be the mechanical development, the environmental preservation of Fremont, Nebraska, and then the factory scenes as well. When I talk about mechanical development, I'm talking about generally the big buildings, all the cars, and things of that nature. When I talk about environmental preservation, I'm talking about the landscape, the outlook, and generally just the way the city of Fremont is set up and the natural space that would kind of be needed to make a wildlife reserve. Then going into the factory scenes, again, we got the dog food plant and the meat factories that are in Fremont. Kind of tie into the next slide, which would be about the pollution. A big part of the pollution and why I don't feel a wildlife reservation would be good for the city of Fremont, or why I think it'd be hard to create a wildlife reserve in Fremont, is because of the pollution. The odors in Fremont are pretty bad. Have to do a study about it, but I believe it's harmful to the environment and the biodiversity. Again, you got the toxic smells. Seems to be poisonous. Smells like it should be poisonous, but again, it may not be, because we have people who live in Fremont. With this pollution and the smell in Fremont, what I think would happen is it would disturb the sensitive adjustment to the plant and wildlife. But I do believe that it would disturb some of the plants and wildlife. A lot of the wildlife have very distinct noses, and I believe that it would mess up the biodiversity in the life. So next we go into the plan of action slide. What this slide does, what I would be doing if I were to create a plan of action. First, I would just address some key factors that would impact the environment. I would start with those key factors would be industrial collaborations, public awareness, encouragement of the community, and also a study of a public awareness campaign. So starting out, I want to start out with the environmental impact assessment, and what that would include would be conducting a thorough environmental assessment to understand the state of the environment, the health of the people, and the air quality in the city of Fremont. After that, I would start identifying specific areas within the city that are sustainable and that would be able to uphold a wildlife reserve. It would include factors like the already existing animal and plant life, the quality of the water and the water sources, and any potential threats that the already water sources, animal, plant life, and even if people, or if I were to wanted to bring in different diverse animals and things like that, what effects and threats this may have. After that, what I would do is collaborate with the already booming industrial plants. So going and speaking with them. Um, those plants consist of the dog food and the meat plants. Um, but they produce a ton of income for the community, produce a ton of jobs and opportunities for people. So that would be something that obviously I wouldn't want to get rid of, but would want to help figure out how to insert that wildlife reserve. But then again, that would entail engaging in dialogue with these local businesses and just try to reduce the emissions of the toxic chemicals and smells of Fremont, Nebraska. It would also involve adopting eco-friendly practices, which could be waste reduction and recycling. We could create and maintain different efficient energy sources, and also would have to include some sort of water conservation, which would have a huge impact on creating and sustaining such an advanced ecosystem as a wildlife reserve. Then I would go into involving the public with these ideas. Once you get kind of the basis with the big businesses and everything, I would want to speak to the people, see how they feel, because there would be a sense of responsibility for them to upkeep the wildlife reserve, maintain the safety of the animals, and things of that nature. Along with that,